Hello everyone, my name is Michael SK and welcome back to Fate Stay Night Remastered. And if you're watching this video when it hopefully releases, Merry Christmas. It has been about a month or so, a little over a month since my last video. Some things came up, things that I didn't see coming. You know, life comes at you and you just don't see it sometimes, and that has pushed me away from YouTube. And honestly, my setup right now is very temporary and very sketchy. I'm actually recording off of my Steam Deck right now. So yeah, it's weird, but if I sound a little off, if the thumbnail looks a little different, if the resolution and everything of the video is a tad different, it's because my setup is very temporary. But hopefully things will kind of return to a sort of norm. But I wanted to try to return to YouTube. I have been unable to record for, well, probably the longest that I've had to, stay away from the grind. And I've genuinely missed it. So I've also missed Fate. Fate has been on my mind like every day. So I want to continue it. I actually had to try to remember where we left off here, but we're actually escaping Ilya's manor here out in the middle of bumfuck nowhere. I think that's what we've got going on here. How we have gotten rescued, I'm not entirely sure, but bear with me as I try to remember names, what is going on in the story overall. I know we made a fool out of Shinji last time. I remember that clearly because that was a pivotal moment. So I think that's where we're at. So bear with me, have a lot of patience. I'm just happy to be able to have an opportunity to sit down again and record at this time, and hopefully in a little bit more of a normal way here soon. So if this is okay with you guys, it's okay with me, hopefully. I mean, I'll be finding out after I record and see how broken this is. Hopefully not broken at all. I think my neighbor's dog is having a fit. Perfect. It wouldn't be a Michael SK recording if there wasn't some noise in the background to bother me. But let's get back to it, guys. Thank you for your patience. Let us resume. We hurry through the long hallway and out through the gate. Hard as it is to believe, we were really in a castle. And an old one at that, hidden deep in the forest. The whole place is surrounded by trees as far as one can see. I can't see any buildings or even the sky in the distance. Oh, yeah, if the audio's off, I'm sorry. I'm going off of settings that were set up and saved onto Steam's cloud, so everything should be exactly the way I left it. However, this is Linux, and Linux handles audio a little bit different than Windows. I keep having to reset my microphone every time I get back on here. But Linux is awesome, to be able to do any of this. 3 hours. Honestly, I'm not sure I'll last that long. I'm not tired, but the pain gets worse with every step. If I could at least rest, my fever might break. But we don't have time for that. Tosuka sounds every bit as hurried. She had given Archer his orders. As composed as she looks, I can see the regret weighing on her. Oh yeah, that's right. That's right, Archer's, holding down the front lines here. He's basically allowing us to escape. Saber's eyes are downcast, but she breaks into a run with us. We follow Tosuka as she slips between the trees. Saber's breath rattles loudly in her chest as she runs beside me. It's too dark for me to see clearly, but I can tell that she's struggling. I can't ignore it any longer. Saber loses her balance. I sweep in from the side and take hold of her before she hits the ground. Oh, that's right, she's still recovering from having gone all out against Ryder. I pull her arm. Saber hardly weighs anything anyway. I gather her effortlessly into my arms.
何をするのです、シロ。
We're being the hero today.
何ってしばらく休んでろ。そんな顔で走られてちゃこっちが先に参っちまう。
無礼な、話しなさい。この程度で私が倒れるとでも思っているのですか。
Saber struggles in my arms, but her resistance is weak. Her thin arms have no real strength in them as she pushes at my chest. It pains me to see that that's just how weak she's gotten. I never imagined Saber could be too weak to push away from someone picking her up.
何を考えているのですか、シロ。このようなこと、いくらマスターといえど許しません。
Saber struggles against me, her face beat red. I can't really blame her. This must be a terribly embarrassing position for a knight to be in, but now isn't the time to worry about that.
嘘つけ。俺を振りほどけないぐらい弱ってるくせに大丈夫なわけがないだろう。それでも効かないって言うならレイジを使うしかなくなるぞ。
Hey, let's not do that.
卑怯な。こんなことでレイジを使うなど、そんな無意を容認できるはずがない。
ならおとなしくしてろ。急がないと遠坂に置いていかれる。
Saber must have given up, as she reluctantly falls silent. And that's good enough for now. As long as she's not struggling, I can carry her and run at the same time. We okay here? Spots burst across my vision. As I run, my blood pumps faster. That's usually how it goes. I try to fight down the nausea burning at the back of my throat. That's not normal. Gritting my teeth with every step. Oh, that's right. We were like drugged with like Ilya's eye power or some shit. My breathing is erratic, but I do all that I can to hold the pain at bay. And there's a reason for that.
シロ、下ろしてください。やはり私も走りますから。
The moment she sees me struggling, Saber looks up at me, concerned. I can't stop now.
甘く見るな。セイバー一人どうってことないぞ。壊れたストーブに比べれば女の子一人分なんて空気みたいなもんだ。
What a really that's such a really weird thing to compare.
ですが。
いいから黙っててくれ。ギブアンドテイクって言葉知ってるか。今まで助けてもらったんだからこれぐらいしないと釣り合わないんだよ。
I know that Shirou never means any harm, you know? I never really, see him as being purposely offensive. But the man's an idiot, and it's just so great. I love it. And it makes these, it makes conversations between these two, the way they bicker, it's just so great.
いえ、そんなことはないのですが。私の方こそ、これでは釣り合いが取れなくなる。
そりゃよかった。じゃ、きついのは今回限りだな。がぜんやる気が湧いてきた。
I take a breath and pick up the pace. Tosuka knows very well that I have Saber in my arms, but she keeps taking us through narrower and narrower paths. It's a good thing Saber's so light, but following Tosuka is a trial all on its own.
ほら、喋ると舌を噛むぞ。黙っていてくれた方が俺も助かるんだから。
はい。それではマスターの指示に従います。
Cooperation between the two? That's strange. Saber relaxes in my arms. She was tense earlier, which made carrying her harder. Now it's a bit easier. The problem now is whether Saber and I will make it to our destination. Isn't it like a, few-hour drive via car to this mansion? How are we getting out on foot? How did these two even make it here? I don't know how long we've been running. Maybe 30 minutes, maybe an hour. Running doesn't take a lot out of me. I've been training hard, and Saber is so light. But right now... there's something wrong inside me. The more I move, the dizzier I get. I feel like I'm about to throw up. I would have understood it if I'd been bitten by a snake, and the poison was doing a number on me, but since we're in a forest... And this pain won't bring me to my knees. Yeah, we'll see about that. It's just a heaviness in my chest, and I need to throw up, or throw something up. And it's nothing compared to the heat I'm feeling in my arms right now. Saber's closed her eyes, as if she were sleeping. She's not resisting, she's relaxed. Her body is growing hotter by the moment. Her clothes are damp with sweat, even though it's in the middle of winter, and she's tucked her head down to hide her labored breathing from me. It'll be a repeat of that one night. The night Saber collapsed from exhaustion after using her noble phantasm against Ryder. Saber's condition hasn't changed since that night. Was she able to talk until now because she was just in the brief window before she disappeared? I run in an attempt to prevent that from coming true. I don't care what happens to my body. I move my feet as fast as I can, hoping that we can do something as long as we make it home. Yeah, it's looking really good here. I very nearly trip and skid to a stop, leaning my back against a tree. I taste blood, so that's where the nausea's coming from. None got on Saber, since it was just a little bit, but the source of my nausea churns in my chest. Saber would be pretty upset about the waste of food if I threw up. Actually, knowing Saber, she might well cut me in half for it. Yeah, that's funny. The bit of levity lends me just a little more energy. Okay, break's over.
いいえ、無茶をするのはここで終わりです、シロ。
Saber.
She wasn't asleep. Saber speaks up from where she lays in my arms.
なんだよ。終わりって何が？
We're switching positions.
ですから、シロは一人で逃げるべきです。その体では私を連れて行くことはできません。
Not what I had in mind, but okay.
そんなことあるか。今のはただ転んだだけだ。
あるわよ。そんな死人みたいな顔で何言ってるんだか。
Hey, thanks for your input. I thought you disappeared way off ahead of us. Hey, Tosaka's come back for some reason.
強がるのは勝手だけどね。いくら夜の森だからって口元の血ぐらい隠しなさい。それじゃあセイバーに心配されるのも当然よ。よかった。リンがいるのなら話が早い。でしょうね。セイバーの言いたいことはわかるわ。時間もないことだし、そこの大バカにもわかるようにさっさと言ってやって。
Saber nods.
はい。リン、私をここに置いていってほしい。私を連れていては逃げきれないし、何よりもう長くは持ちません。
I can't really insist she's being ridiculous. Neither of them needs to remind me how much worse Saber's getting. Saber won't last long. I have the sense she won't make it until morning, the way things are going.
そう。で、シロはこのままセイバーと心中する？
まさかそんな気はないし、セイバーは消えさせない。セイバーが消えるって言うんなら、レイジでも何でも使って。
I don't know if the command spells can prevent one from dying.
オーケー、それならいいわ。じゃあ両方とも解決しましょう。セイバーを助けて、ついでに3人でこの森から脱出する。今後の方針はそれで決まりね。
は？
My brain feels like mushy tofu. Tosaka says the damnedest thing, and always so casually.
ちょっと待って。そりゃ確かにそうしたいけど、それができないから。
いいからこっちに来て。言っとくけど、私も簡単にセイバーを死なせる気はないわ。ええ、この機会は逃さない。あなたにはその責務を果たしてもらう。シローもいいって言ったし、そうしても構わないわよね、セイバー。
Guys, I've got such a bad feeling. Tosaka looks towards Saber meaningfully. Saber doesn't answer. Instead, she averts her eyes awkwardly. Guys, I'm so worried. Once we pass through the exceptionally tall trees, something unexpected comes into our view.
廃墟？
ここならしばらく身を隠せるでしょ？
I really don't think we should.
来るときにね、 アーチャーが見つけておいたのよ。万が一の時の隠れ家にしようって。
But if this is still Ilya's domain, then we probably don't want to be sticking around. Because she probably knows about this spot. Trees choke the ruins. Only one of the rooms on the second floor remains more or less intact. The windows are miraculously undamaged, and the brilliant moonlight casts the room in its pale glow.
割合綺麗じゃない。もしかしたら最近まで誰かが寝泊まりしてたのかもね。
Which is more reason for us not to be in here. In my opinion, at least. Nothing phases this girl. Tosuka steps over the rubble and pats the bed near the wall with both hands.
シロこっち。セーバーを寝かせないとまずいでしょ。人に抱かれているのって結構体力使うのよ。
ああ、今行く。
I lay Saber on the old beat-up bed.
どう？苦しい？セーバー。まだ体を動かすのには問題ない？ええ。シローがここまで運んでくれましたから。まだ体を保っていられるようです。
God damn. She really is on her way out. Holy shit.
そう。ならあとはこっちの問題だけか。あれから1時間。イリアスフィールが追ってくるにしても、もう少し時間はかかるわ。探すのに手間取れば、朝方ぐらいまでは隠れていられる。
Again, I'm fairly certain she knows about this place. She's just reminded me of something. We've run as far as this ruins, but what happened with Berserker and Archer? He stayed in the castle to hold Berserker off, and it's already been an hour. Archer should have retreated from the castle by now.
トサカ、あいつは。
Tosuka doesn't respond. She only presses her right hand to her heart, like she's clutching something precious. And that's enough to tell me what happened to Archer. Tosuka's command spell is on her right arm. A master and their servant are connected. In the same way Saber was able to detect when I was in danger, a master can sense when their servant is alive or dead.
トサカ、あいつは。
There's no way he's dead, come on.
まあね。足止めだけでいいって言ったのにさ。あいつ、最後までキザだ
No,
ったな。
come on. Archer isn't dead. Silence falls between us. It feels like the silence will last forever, but then...
けど、無駄になんかしない。アーチャーを失った以上、バーサーカーはここで倒す。
Yeah, I don't know about all that, but the sound of Tosuka punching her hand into her fist breaks the silence.
悔やむのはここまでよ。悩んでいる暇があったら行動するのが私の信条。ここまで来たらあなたにも覚悟を決めてもらうからね。
覚悟って何のだよ。
決まってるじゃない。イリアスフィール、バーサーカーを倒す覚悟よ。セーバーを連れてたらこの森からは出られないし、彼女を自然に回復させるにしたって時間がかかる。どのみちイリアに追いつかれるわ。わかる？私たち3人揃って森を出るにはバーサーカーを倒すしかない。それができなければ私たちもアーチャーの後を追うだけよ。
バーサーカーを倒す。
Yeah, you got me on that one. That monster? Defeat that invincible whirlwind of death? I can't imagine that being possible. If we fight, we die. Tosuka should understand that perfectly herself. Is her plan still to defeat him, even knowing that? There has to be more to this idea here. There has to be. What am I saying? Tosuka's not saying we can beat it. She's not so blindly optimistic.
そうか。
We're not going to beat him to win. I should have realized that from the very beginning.
倒すしかないんだな。
And that's all there is to it. If we don't want to die here, we have to defeat that monster.
そういうことよ。けどそれほど絶望的な状況ってわけでもないわ。いくらバーサーカーだってアーチャーと戦った後なら何らかの傷を負っているはずよ。私だってとっておきの宝石を全部持ってきてるし、セイバーさえ回復すれば打開策の一つや二つは作り出せるわ。逆に言えばね、 バーサーカーが傷を負っている今こそイリアスフィールを倒せる最大の機会だと思わない？
けど肝心のセイバーを回復させる方法があるのか？こんな場所じゃ満足な治療もできないんじゃ。
ううん、セイバーの治療に場所は関係ないわ。セイバーは単に魔力切れで弱っているだけだもの。一定量の魔力さえ補充してあげれば、あとは以前通りの能力を発揮してくれる。
Tosaka's explanation reminds me of late last night. She said that Saber's magical energy was mostly gone, which is why, to restore Saber's magical energy...
いい？セイバーを助けたいなら、セイバー自身に人を襲わせて魂を食べさせるしかない。
Which we're still not going to do.
なら答えは一つよ。レイジを使いなさい、エミヤ君。それで最悪の事態は避けられるわ。
I have 2 command spells left. I'll use one to make Saber attack people so she can devour their souls to replenish her magical energy. If Saber won't recover, we can't defeat Berserker. And if we can't defeat Berserker, then he'll kill us. I look at Saber where she lies. We're just letting her suffer at this point, but...
いや、トサカ。それでも、セイバーに人を襲わせるのは反対だ。
You know, in the very beginning of all this, in my mind, I was thinking, how is this a war? How is a fight between, 7 people or 7 masters with their 7 servants a war? I feel like that's just a glorified giant-ass battle, Like back in the Halo days or some shit. But no, this is a war because of it sort of taking in consideration that this is just happening out in the open, where other people can be taken as, innocent victims. They're just going to be drawn in. They had no involvement in this. But war does that. War will just, it doesn't know who's, right, wrong, a victim or, somebody that's actually a part of the war with anticipation of dying or winning. No. That's just how war is. So this is showing us that this is indeed a war, and a very unfair one at that. Not that there's ever a fair war, but
今回は私も同意よ。
it's unfair for everybody.
これが他の場所だったらその提案をしたでしょうけどね。でもここはイリアスフィールの庭の中。人の魂なんかどこにもない。あの城の中にはバーサーカーとイリアスフィール以外の誰かがいるかもしれないけど、それを探しに行くのはミスミス七に赴くようなものよ。
Yeah, I think we should avoid that.
食べさせるためには外に出ないといけない。本末転倒になるってことか。
Tosaka nods. I'm relieved not to have to make Saber attack people, but then how are we supposed to replenish Saber's magical energy?
でもどうするんだトサカ。そもそも俺がセイバーに魔力を補充できないから困ってるんだよな。
方法はあるわよ。その昨日ってもう一昨日に説明したでしょ。サーバントに魔力を分け与える方法は共有の魔術とそれ以外にわずかな方法しかないって。あの時はまあこんな状況になるとは思わなかったから言わなかったんだけど。
I tried to think back to our conversation that night. Now that she mentions it, she said something like,
まあ召喚時にセイバーとパスが通っているはずだからまだ方法があるかもしれないけど。
I think that's what Tosaka said.
思い出した。パスは通ってるから魔術以外の方法があるとかなんとか。
Right? Or did I get it wrong? Well, based on her look... Well, actually, it's hard to tell with her. And that's why she's so great. At the time, I was shocked to learn that I had to make Saber attack people, so I might have misheard her.
トサカ、なんか方法があるのか？
まあね、私がサポートできる範囲で2つ。この状況だと荒っぽい方になるわ。いい？セイバーの魔力不足は素人のパスが不完全だからよ。彼女を回復させるにはこのパスを完全な形に通し直すしかない。
確かにそうできれば一番なんだろうが、俺はパスの通し方なんてわからない。
Saber's summoning was messed up from the start. If I had been able to make a connection to supply her with magical energy, we wouldn't be in this mess.
話自体は簡単よ。シローとセイバーを共感状態にして霊的なパスをつなぎ直すだけ。契約破棄や最小間以外にパスを修復するためにはそれしかない。そのためにセイバーにシローの魔術回路を移植するの。
Transplant my magical circuits to Saber?
セイバーとシローのパスを新しくするには霊的に重要な器官を移植するしかないわ。
What?
サーバントとマスターが聖杯の力を借りているのなら、それに匹敵する強い結合を生み出さないとパスは通らない。そのためにはマスターの魔術回路をサーバントに移植する。それくらいやらないとシローの力がセイバーには届かないから。
Magic circuits. An indispensable mechanism for mages that use Odd or Ode to activate mana. It's the core of a mage's existence, and without it, the magical energy that serves as the source of a mage's power can't be created. To a mage, their magic circuits are more important than life itself. They see them as the thing that gives their existence value.
サーバントの回路をマスターに移植するのは危険すぎるわ。ゴーストライナー、それも英霊の回路は死にゆく人の体に移しても強烈な拒絶反応しかもたらさない。そうなると残された手はシローの回路をセイバーに移植するしかないってこと。でもそれは張り巡らされた神経を引きちぎられることと同じよ。
What the fuck?
そうなればその負担は
Oh man. Entirely on the one offering the transplant. Ripping out nerves is the same as amputating fingers or even arms.
待ってくださいリン。それはあまりにもシローに。そうしないと誰も生き残ることはできない。あなたなら分かっているはずよ、セイバー。
We have to suffer to even have an opportunity to survive. There's no guarantee here. I gulp as quietly as I can. I have to get my priorities straight. We don't have time for me to hesitate when what needs to be done is clear.
トサカ、それは成功するのか？
成功させるわ。でも成功させることはそのまま安全につながるわけじゃない。失敗させるつもりはさらさらないけど、成功すればシローの魔術回路はセイバーに奪われる。むしろ失敗した方がいいんじゃないかって思えるほどの喪失感と苦痛を生むでしょうね。もし魔術回路を奪われれば、それはシローが
It would mean that my secondary nerve, my missing magic circuits, would be like a piece torn from my psyche and would damage the spiritual body's integrity, creating a fatal flaw in me as a mage. I will never regain that missing piece for as long as I live. My hope of becoming a full-fledged mage from experience alone will die. Once I lose my foundation, my magic circuits, I will always be incomplete no matter what. I nod for my own sake. Is that all? I'd rather save Saber.
よし、やろう、トサカ。
早っ。
Yeah, I was gonna say that was quick to jump to that
決断が早いのは
decision.
いいけど、本当にどういうことなのか分かってるの？
分かってる。トサカ、教えてくれただろ。
分かってるわけないじゃない。いい？セイバーを救うために、私はシローに魔術師として死ねと言ってるようなものなのよ。
だから反論はないんだって。トサカの考えた最上の計画だからうなずくんだ。もっと自分の計画に自信を持てよ、トサカ。そんな風に慌てるとこっちが不安だ。それにそうしないとセイバーはバーサーカーと戦えないんだろ。
そうよ、そうだって言ってるじゃない。
だろ。それに俺たちには犠牲がないわけじゃない。
His stance told me to go. I didn't like him, but if he was willing to risk his life to protect his master, Tosaka, well, I can't back out now.
いいわ。始めましょう、シロ。
You know, to Shiro's credit here, I do wonder how this will go. Shirou is no ordinary, mage, master, person. Just in general, he's not ordinary. There's more to him. The way that he's able to recover from life-threatening wounds that should actually be fatal. And he had a hole created in the center of his body from Berserker. And he still lived. I thought I made the wrong choice, remember? So, he's got something going on. So what will go on here may not be exactly what we expect. It's hard to expect anything, really.
セイバーもいいか。俺の魔術回路を移植するってことなんだが。
はい。それがマスターの判断なら。
I hear neither affirmation nor denial in her voice. But her eyes seem filled with regret. Well, yeah, because of her, what she's thinking is because of her, she's causing her master pain. I guess Tosaka is going to prepare us for the transplant. I don't know the procedure, so I just have to leave it all to Tosaka.
まずはセイバーからね。シロを魔術回路をオンにしたまま、できるだけ心を乱さないように待機していて。
Probably easier said than done, but okay. I close my eyes and switch over the artificial nerve in my body. Thanks to Tosaka's instruction, I've been able to turn my circuits on and off effortlessly. It is like a switch. What the fuck? A red flower entangles the white flower. Tosaka climbs up to straddle Saber, who lies still. Then she begins to run her fingers freely along the curves of Saber's slender form.
待て、トサカ。お前、セイバーに何をする気だ？
Yeah, I am all of a sudden very curious and wanting to know more.
何って、セイバーにもリラックスしてもらおうと思って。セイバーが力を抜いてくれないと成功率が下がっちゃうし。
This is how you make somebody relax?
ああ、そういうことか。悪い、続けてくれ。
ええ、どうも。
I feel like whatever she's... Hey, yo. Okay.
は？
いちいち驚かないの。脱ぐって言っても一部だけよ。魔術回路の移植は精神と体の融合よ。できるだけ接触を多くして遮蔽を少なくしなきゃいけないでしょ。
Tosaka is completely calm about this. Saber and I are the only two who are flustered about this as Tosaka begins undoing Saber's collar.
待ってください、リン。それでしたら自分ででき。
腕を上げるのも辛いくせに強がらないで。はあ、それともエミヤくん、マスターの責務としてセーバーを自分で脱がせたいとか。
Okay, look, I've really missed smug Rin as much as anybody else, truly. And maybe even more. But this is not the time for this. I want to call her a fool, but I snap my mouth shut. All jokes aside, I'm not suited to a task like that. If I had to do it, I wouldn't be able to maintain my composure.
すまない、そっち任せた。
よろしい。そういうわけだから白も脱ぎなさい。は、上着脱ぐだけでいいから。下まで全部脱いだら殺すからね。
Noted. I can't tell if she's joking or being serious. It seems like I need to strip to connect with Saber, though.
シロ、お願いです。しばらく背を向けていていただけないでしょうか。
わかった。準備ができたら言ってくれ。
Okay, now this is character development. Well, I don't know about all that, but back whenever there was the scene in the bathroom back over at his place, she was completely unfazed because she didn't see herself as a woman. But he did. He being a man and her being a woman. So that created, a lovely flustered situation for him. But for her, not so much. Here, it's totally different. It really is. That's relationship development. Or something, I don't know. I turn away and fold the shirt I was wearing. I try to distract myself and hide how nervous I am by folding the shirt up neatly, sleeves and all.
大丈夫？セイバー。
はい。だいぶ楽になりましたが。
Go on. I was expecting something of a however, not breathing, but I need to calm down. I try to get my fear under control as I find myself dreading how painful and difficult the magic circuit transplant will be, and how it might fail. This is just a step along the path. I should be more worried about the fight with Berserker that comes after this.
いいわよ、シロ。
ああ。
Okay, well, I was expecting a little bit more, but this is okay. This is okay, game. I forget to breathe. I've seen her bare skin before, but I've never seen Saber like I'm seeing her now as she lies in bed. In this shitty-ass looking building. It must be all this tension in the air. It's not just me. Saber is acting weird too. She acted normal when I saw her bare skin before. See?
シロ、こっち。ここに上がってセイバーに覆いかぶさって。
And it's like someone else is controlling my body. I'm walking towards the bed, but it doesn't seem real to me.
セイバー、同調までは私がやるわ。それからあとはあなたにお願いするけど、持っていきすぎないように注意して。少なければ少ないほどシロの負担は減るから。
わかりました。お願いします。リン。
I have no idea what they're saying. Right now, it's all I can do, it's all I can do to breathe. And we get even closer. We're so close, our skin is almost touching. I feel Saber's weak breath on me. I support my weight on my hands, my body so close to hers.
変革準備。実質。ボウが接続開始。
Okay, she said a whole lot more than that, but okay. The chant begins. I try to focus my consciousness on what's happening to clear my mind so I can sympathize with Saber. At least I didn't have to read out any of that. That's German, right? Technically, maybe. I could be completely wrong. I only see Saber's face. She's already in a meditative state. I can't keep my eyes open forever. I reluctantly close my eyes. We'll both need to relax for this process now. I know she needs to. My senses begin to fade. She's not actually reading out the German there, by the way. I think I've picked this out before, like in the very beginning, but it's been a while. It's the same floating sensation as when I create my magic circuit every night. The feeling of my ego, my mind, leaving my body. And this time, though, it's running in reverse. Normally, I feel that sensation coming from my back. But right now, my consciousness is escaping from my chest. The 5 senses are functions associated with the physical body. The moment my consciousness leaves my body, I lose my sense of hearing. But my ears are more sensitive to Saber's breathing. Her slow, steady breathing begins to speed up. I hear the heart pounding in my chest. Blood rushes through my veins. I leave the vessel known as Shirou Emiya and slide into her body. Whoa. Sorry, I didn't need to joke about that. I mean, I kind of needed to, but my consciousness sinks deeper into her. My self swirls and converges, invading her as a solid crystal, pulsing hot breath. Our hearts, not our bodies, touch.
Shiro.
Her voice rings out like a bell, and in response, my essence escapes my physical body. This has got to be some, like, wild shroom trip. My senses are transformed. I have no hands, no legs, no self, but I continue on in this bare state. Time seems to flow backward. Instead of flying, I feel as if I'm being left behind. I accelerate. The body, persona, order, law. I become an arrow, shattering every barrier around me, destroying the boundaries that separate one person from another. Sparks race along the circuit. I freeze in the ecstasy of reaching the speed of light. This is some wild shit going on here. Whatever is happening, of course. And they say a person's life flashes by in a single instant. The flashbacks are cruel. Every instant passes by in the blink of an eye. I can't look at it directly, so I find myself going emotionally numb. So this is a mental journey. I'm reminded just how comforting our physical bodies, our anchors, can be. I visualize the foundation of magecraft. The human operation is quantified. Hundreds of institutions, millions of joints form a circle. The endless complex patterns are, in fact, just a highway formed by simple repetition, all heading into the vastness of the future. It's like a vehicle of some kind heading toward a darkened city of light. Here in the present, my thoughts pass by at the speed of light. Yeah, this is what the insides of our bodies look like, actually. Trust me, I did take a biology course. Actually, 2 of them. Eternity passes in an instant. I passed through the last boundary. Is it biology? It's not chemistry. I don't know what courses I've taken. I mean, that's not the study of the human body, but I break through, and I am inside her. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I see a glimpse of Altria's magic circuits, not my own. This is what the inside of a Cyberpunk 2077 body looks like, I guess. The changes are extreme. The speed and light of the world vanish all at once. Here it is dark, here it is heavy. The pressure of it pushes against my bodiless form. The air is so thick I may as well be underwater. My body sinks, feeling only the agony of being clamped in a vice. The path is deep, and I can't see the bottom. I feel myself fall through the thick twilight, plummeting deeper into an even denser darkness. It seems impossible that just a moment ago, I traveled 10,000 miles in the blink of an eye. Now even going a single mile seems like it would be an arduous, eternal journey. I feel neither light nor hope. Are these really Saber's magic circuits? They're completely different from mine. The shape of the circuits, the number of pathways, all that differs from person to person, but this is unlike anything else. This isn't a matter of scale or ability. Saber's magic circuits are fundamentally different than a mage's. Well, yeah, they're a totally different individual. The path rumbles. Every time it does, my tiny self nearly shatters. I don't know what Saber's magic circuits are like, but I can tell the sympathizing magecraft is functioning properly. And this is not a failure. The dark, heavy pressure of this place doesn't seem like Saber, but it's also not an impure place. It's brimming with life. The flowing air is blood and a swirl of magical energy. I realize I've forgotten to breathe, and I haven't needed to. Sinking is painful, but it's not life-threatening. I look up into the darkness I've sunken into, but I seem to be past the point of no return. I can't see anything in this darkness. I'm submerging gradually, but the distance ahead is infinite. The air grows even heavier. My rate of descent slows yet again. I squint into the darkness. The seemingly endless road does have an end. I feel the heat of Saber's body. I feel her every breath, so close. The final destination. I reach the source of Saber's magic circuits, the center of her mental world. But what I see is beyond my capacity to understand. It's the core of a star. I've reached the embodiment of some impossible, scorching heat, breathing from the depths of the earth. God damn, it's not what I expected. The fiery red surface swirls, and then there's a splash like stagnant mud. At the bottom there lurks a giant shadow. Yeah, that was a giant shadow, all right. Its fiery eyes fixed on the tiny intruder. Whether its master gave the intruder permission to enter or not, it is still a foreign invader. In the face of this core, my own consciousness is barely a mote of dust to disturb its function, or a piece of wood to feed its fire. I gulp even though I have no throat to swallow with. I take in the entire scene. These are Saber's magic circuits. A heart beyond anything human, so different from ours, which we imagine as lines and circuits. This is a reactor core. If a mage's body is a machine for creating magical energy, then what I am seeing now is an entire factory. But the core is inactive. The key that should activate the core, the spark of power to bring the whole thing to life, has been cut off. Despite the overwhelming ability this core has to produce massive amounts of magical energy, it lacks the initial charge to activate itself. It floats overhead, a stagnant sea of fuel. No matter how much undulated magical energy fills this endless space, it's useless. It needs to ignite. Even a tiny spark could do the trick. So long as the pathway for magical energy is connected, the core will roar back to life. And to do that, something beyond human knowledge awakens. Pathways running over the lake of magical energy begin to swirl. Red air explodes upwards in a raging pillar. Is this what it's like to stand in a thundercloud? This is very loud, by the way. Just throwing that out there. So intense is the roar of the raging waves that I don't even properly hear it. In the same way something too massive can't be properly seen, the roar is its own kind of silence to me. What appears at the heart of that blazing core is the embodiment of every threat mankind carries in their hearts. We carry a fucking dragon in our hearts? Is this a dragon? Looks like one, kinda. It has been said that the king is a red dragon that symbolizes Britain. Phantasmal blood runs in their human veins, the child of a sacred star. A dragon. A ruler, the symbol of so many phantasmal species, objects of both awe and fear. The pinnacle of all beasts, appearing at times as a demon, at times a god. This is what lies in Saber's subconscious. Its otherworldly form suits the servant said to be the best. Some wild shit. The cauldron opens. Vicious fangs are all I see. There can be no resistance. Humans which paled to insignificance before this could never defend against it. No human intelligence could ever conceive of a way to escape. Oh, it must be famished. It devours its prey, which would normally seem as inconsequential as motes of dust with its bloodshot eyes. Nope, here comes the pain. And I am at a complete loss for words. I wonder, why do we not eat living meals? It's obvious. We cannot bear to see our food alive. We prefer fresh food, but rarely do we eat anything alive because we feel it's cruel for our food to suffer. In other words, killing the meat we consume before we eat it is our way of preserving its dignity. A scream of rage tears its way from my throat. I forget who I am and roar like a beast. I try to appeal to the beast. The hatred builds within me. My only resistance is bearing my emotions. I beg for mercy like a crucified sinner as I'm ground to meat. I don't think that said meat, I think that said meal. My consciousness grows hazy, muddled. Every purpose and meaning in my life falls away. And any hope of retaining my sanity is long gone as creation itself. The pain, the pressure, they're far, far too much. And then, when I came to see it only as a monster, there she is. Even once I'd learned of this hell, I believed I could endure it. The image of Saber, her head hanging low, comes back to me. I recall the meaning of this pain. That meaning drives me forward. It is a literal painful reminder of what I came here to do. I draw in a deep breath and let go of my resistance. It's not the dragon's fangs I should be fighting, but the pain twisting through me. I'm not here to run from the pain. I'm here to save her pain, to live up to the trust she's placed in me time and time again. And so, I'm here to give her the best thing that I, who has no hope of fighting, can give. The pain is indescribable. I can't reach out to my ground down consciousness. I hone my awareness like a blade silently as if I were asleep. Here, eternity is but an instant. As long as I can endure this pain, even for an instant, my consciousness will remain. Alright then. I won't let myself feel an ounce of fear. I shall dedicate this pain to you, who will be the one to fight. That's some crazy shit. Maybe being on shrooms for this part would have made it even better. Like, that was the intention when they created this. The pain instantly fades. The red dragon is gone, and my consciousness gradually floats back to the surface. Am I weightless because I lost something? As if I'm floating back up to the water's surface, I feel myself begin rising up above the reactor. But wait. There's something I want to check before... it's so warm. A dull throbbing hum issues from the reactor as it burns with golden light. The elaborate magic circuits shine with a rainbow hue and begin their circulation. The fire is lit. I may be an untrained amateur of a mage, but today I filled my role as her lord. I surrender my body to the wind and float upward. Operation complete? I catch a glimpse of a distant memory. A figure holding a sword and a figure standing in a grassy field as it dances in the wind. Yeah, we never saw that shot before. We saw the first one, but not the second. Which one did I find reminiscent? Hey, yo! I got a Steam achievement. All right. Okay, we'll have to see how this all went down in the next one. We'll call it there. I'm going to create a new save because if this recording didn't go well, I just wasted like almost an hour of my life, sure, but I think everything worked out. I never saw any issues. I've been poking at my Audacity and OBS here and there throughout the recording, so I think we're okay. Just a little hiccup whenever I was getting into the game, but I don't think there were any other hiccups, so I think this went okay. It just might sound a little different on my end. Like for my microphone, I just don't have my settings. There's no onboard memory for the microphone, so I'm going to sound a little different. Probably. But as long as you guys can understand what I'm saying, I think that's okay. And I think the audio for the game was fine, but I'll have to verify. I'll cross-check with another video to kind of just, play it by ear. Does this sound right? And I'll do the same with my voice. Does this sound okay enough? And we'll go from there. But I do appreciate you guys being patient. I really wanted to return to recording here and there. I don't think I can do a daily grind right now because this is a very inefficient setup that I have, and I don't know when I will have the availability to sit here and do this, but if I do, I will, because this is a great escape, and I definitely miss doing this. So if you're watching this video as it has come out, again, Merry Christmas, but also, and Happy Holidays. And if you don't celebrate anything, then I still wish you a good time. But yeah, just thank you for sticking around. And I do hope you will continue to be patient with me. Fate is the only thing I can currently record. So if you're wondering about Umineko, which I'm also recording, that's going to be stuck on a hiatus. And same thing with Persona, which I've neglected yet again. So this is all I can record right now. I hope you guys can understand, and I hope to share more when I can. Right now, just life being life. But thank you all for tuning in. This was a lot of fun to return to, and I've definitely missed it. and I'll try to record as soon as I can again. If you enjoyed, be sure to leave a like, subscribe for more. I will definitely try to create more. Trust me, I want to go through this story with you guys, and I will see you guys in another episode. Fingers crossed, of course. No guarantees, but I'll try my best. Take it easy, guys.